What's up, everybody? Ryan Adams, there's no R in what's up, but I wanted to just roll my R's there. Ryan Adams with Ryan and Real Estate. I should have just rolled it there, right? Hey, how are you guys doing? Hope everything's going well. Another time, another place for an episode of Ryan and Real Estate. And before I get into our topic today, which I think you'll find very interesting, especially if you're a buyer out there and you're like, I'm trying to buy a house, but I cannot get one. They're all gone. This is for you. Okay, before we get going, take your finger and put it on the mouse and scroll it to the button that says subscribe and hit the click button. And then maybe click that little notification bell too. That way you can get all this great information. And if you have any questions, please put those in the comments. I would love to answer as I can. There have been some interesting comments lately, but I appreciate the time. I would love any comments you do have. All right, so today we're talking about all right, so here's the deal. Before I get into it, I was about to give you I froze you there for a second. You're about to go, what is it, Ryan? I'm in so much anticipation. Here's the question. You're a buyer, you're in the market, and you've made multiple offers, but you've made multiple offers and you're not getting your offers accepted. One, you might want to have a good conversation with the real estate agent to figure out why. If you need help with that, of course, let us know. Number two, I want to help you figure out what offers are sellers most likely going to accept in today's market. Like if you find the house, you're out there searching and this beautiful baby comes around and you're like, this is it, this is the one. Which one and which type of offer does need to be written in order for you to get that accepted? So I'm gonna give you a few ways to get that accepted. Number one, it's what everybody cares about the most, sales price. So obviously, the better sales price you have, the more chance it's gonna get accepted. Let me just tell you this, right now in the current market, most homes are getting at least 100% of what they're asking for in the sales price. And then the majority are going over that price. So how do you figure out what that is? One, make sure your agent is calling and talking to the listing agent going, hey, listen up. I need to know what is the amount, and they can't technically tell you this, but at least they can maybe get some information. What's the amount that I gotta write in this offer to get this baby accepted? Number two, have your agent, make sure your agent's doing this. I mean, I shouldn't be telling your agent to do this. Hopefully they're doing that already, but have your agent look up the comps in the area to see what's the highest price per square foot. What does that house look like in comparison to the other homes? And that should give you a good idea of what, and then add on a little bit so that you could potentially get that offer accepted with the sales price. So talk to your agent and go, let me ask you a question. When we're putting in these offers, you're telling me I should be putting in this amount. Why are you suggesting that's what I do? And I need some good definitions behind that and making sure your agent is in great communication with the other agent. Being a listing agent, when I get offers that are given to me, I can almost guarantee you the agents that are actually talking to me and communicating to me have a much higher chance for that offer to get accepted. So sales price, the cash, is number one of what you can do to get that offer accepted. Number two, sellers are accepting offers with the buyers who have the most skin in the game. What does that mean? Well, let's give you examples of how more skin is in the game. Number one, the best offer you can get is cash, 100% cash. That means the buyer is willing to buy that home for cash. Maybe you're not in the position where you just have $500K sitting around and you're ready to buy your house for that. Well, we have some programs that actually where we are able to make a cash offer on your behalf. It is cash offer. We also have some other lender partners we work with that can basically take you through the underwriting process where your offer is as good as cash. But cash is king. So the more skin you have in the game, the better. If you don't have that, you've got to go with a conventional loan or FHA loan. Then it's about the percentage that you're putting down. How much are you putting down on the home? Are you putting 5%, 10%, 20%? You showing that, or at least showing to the listing agent you have the ability to do that, that's gonna be huge. The next thing that I would say of what's important of having skin in the game is your earnest money. Standard in Texas, we put about 1% earnest money. $500,000 is what your offer price is. Typically you're putting $5,000. Go ahead, put $10,000, 2%. Put $15,000, 3%. And if you have an option period built into it, as long as you get out of that, cancel or terminate within that option period, you're gonna get all of that back. But just showing them that you have the ability to do so presents a lot more credibility to you as the buyer and having skin in the game. And then third thing of what you could do to help you get that offer accepted is try to have the least amount of contingencies. We have the option period, which is the amount of time in Texas where you put 3 days, 2 days, 7 days, 10 days, however many days. And it's kind of the worst part of the contract for a seller because you're putting a small amount of money down, and for any reason whatsoever, and sellers are scared about this, and if you have a good listing agent, they're gonna help protect your seller. Put a small amount of money that says for any reason I can back out of the contract for whatever I want to do. So one, increase your option period amount, maybe $1,000. That's saying, hey, this house looks great. I'm gonna risk $1,000 to show the seller how serious I am, and I'm gonna put a 5-day option period on it. And that's pretty much gonna let that seller know this guy is serious because he's gonna lose. So that's the difference with option and earnest. If you back out of the contract with your option, you will lose the option amount. But if you can't put more down in your option period, I mean, at least $250, $500 on a standard price home. If you can't do that, shorten the option period amount because that's less time the seller has to have that home marketed and off the market. Another way that you can have less contingencies, the least amount of contingencies, is your third-party financing addendum. If you're using a loan, standardly it's somewhere between 17 and 23 days. Work with your lender to get most of it underwritten so you can put a 14-day down or a 10-day. I've seen some lenders be able to do that. So shorten your amount of third-party contingency. And then let me just give you some advice. Don't put in a waiver appraisal because here's the deal. If you're using a third-party lender and your home doesn't appraise, it's one, your earnest money is already out the door if you're past your third-party contingency. But at that point, it's really gray. And even if you have that, yes, it protects your buyer, but whenever a listing agent sees a appraisal waiver, big X, they do not like it. And quite honestly, we used to not have to do this. By the way, I'm not giving you any legal advice here. I'm just suggesting these are things that you could do. Talk to your real estate agent, talk to your lawyer, whatever it may be. I'm not giving you legal advice, but don't put in a third party, and hopefully the Trek gods will not attack me for this, but you don't have to put it in there. Last thing, how do you get it accepted? Is get that seller to accept the offer that you've had a hard time with is your lender. We have some great lenders that I could suggest to you work with, but one thing that you could have your lender do is one, make sure you've gone through a full pre-approval, and some lenders are even pre-underwriting, so your offer is almost good as cash, but have your lender write an email, send a video, even more important, vouching for you as a buyer of how great a person you are, how wonderful you are, how good you look on the camera, and then also how likely you will be able to close on this home. Lenders typically can't make guarantees, but they can at least give your seller and the listing agent for that seller that you're trying to make that offer and win that offer on some confidence that they want to work with you. That's just 4 simple ways that you can help get your offer accepted. That's it. Another episode of Ryan in Real Estate. We will see you next time.